The City of Waterloo, in cooperation with its many active and inspiring entities, presents Heart for the City, a chance to hear and see what's going on in our city and to meet people who serve you, teach you, entertain you, help you, all neighbors and like you. Make this a city on the move. And now, here's our host, the Honorable Quentin Hart.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us on Heart for the City. I'm Quentin Hart, proud mayor of Waterloo. There are some exciting things going on in Waterloo, things you won't want to miss, and I am about to tell you some of them, so let's get started. Waterloo has about 533 employees serving in a multitude of positions. These hardworking and talented people keep our city moving. They provide recreation, safety, community, and economic development among a myriad of other functions. One individual stands out, but is retiring after 44 years of service. Who is this person? Stay with us and we will have the pleasure of knowing what it was like serving and contributing to the benefit of our city over those many years. Welcome back to Heart for the City. Prior to 1991, Waterloo streets were in poor condition. In that year, voters approved a local option sales tax for street repair. The $10 million annual in cash infusion is, by his own words, among the highlights of his 44-year city career, and what a fabulous career it was. Our most recent retiree is Waterloo City Engineer Eric Thorson. So welcome and thank you for taking time out of your leisurely day to be here with us.
You're sure welcome.
All right, Eric, tell us about your background and your 44-year history as an engineer for the City of Waterloo in a couple minutes or less.
Okay. I'm a Waterloo native, went to West High, graduated in 1969, and then went on from there to Iowa State University. And while I was working, or going to Iowa State, I worked for the city engineering department in the summers on survey crew, and then the last couple of years of my college career, I was on a co-op program and worked summers and falls. I was then offered a job when I graduated from Iowa State in the department, and I've worked there ever since. There have been different titles as I've worked through all those years, so it was different jobs, but as you kind of move up, it's maybe a little less engineering and more administration.
And given that course of time, how has technology probably changed some of the things that you do? And are you still using, is it called a T-square?
Actually, I don't think we even used T-squares when I came. That's kind of an older drafting instrument.
Right.
We had better drafting tables already by the time I showed up. So, but certainly the computers have made a big difference. We used to do everything by hand, the calculations, the drawings, plan preparation. Now it's all done on computers. So that's the big change, really. It's I think made staff more efficient, and we can get a little more done with the same number of people.
Right, and in that conversation, it's just questions I've had. What is a slide rule?
Well, slide rule is a mechanical device that you can use to do mathematical calculations.
Okay. And when we talk about a city engineer, I don't know exactly how many people know, but what are some of the things that you did on a daily basis as city engineer?
Well, I obviously administered the staff, and one of the important things, though, was planning for future projects and working with the budget to make sure that we stayed within the budget, not only in our departmental budgets, but also in all of our capital projects.
Okay. And, I have this question. I actually want to read this one because it's pretty long, but it's very important. And it says, the department goal under your management was to provide systematic, data-driven, efficient engineering using innovative technology to deliver high-caliber services for the city and its citizens. And when we talk about the technology and those changes, where were some different types of innovative technology?
Well, again, the computer was a big part of that, but when I first started working for the city, we used to go out on survey crew, and there'd be 4 or 5 of us on a crew. We now have electronic total stations where one person can go out and do surveying pretty much by themselves. Occasionally they need some help from another person, but it's really reduced the number of personnel, and we've become much more accurate because of those types of survey equipment. And the councils were always very good about keeping us up to speed with the most current equipment.
Right, and now with Google aerial views, all of those things have kind of changed.
Absolutely.
And giving you a better look, not being at the actual site too.
Right,
so.
right. We can see things from our desk.
Right. Pretty incredible. The local option sales tax, how has that benefited the city or the engineering department?
Well, I think that was really one of the highlights of my career, working to get that passed by the citizens of Waterloo. Before we had that, we had very little funding to work on streets, and once the local option sales tax was passed, that large infusion of money really made it much easier for us, and we were able to accomplish so much more. When you have about 430 some miles of streets, we were just sort of picking away at it before, and then the local option sales tax gave us the capital dollars to really kind of attack the problems and work to make the infrastructure much better.
Right, and projects just don't happen on their own. You have to look further down the road to see exactly what projects you want to do and how those equate to one another for timing. But when it comes to our streets, you know, how are the street repairs prioritized?
The city has a pavement management system, which of course is computerized, and the state of Iowa does supply us data every year. They go out and review all the roads and highways within the state, and they give us that data that's put into our computer system, which is our pavement management system. And then we use that as a basis to kind of tell us from those ratings what streets we might work on. We also then go out and review them in the field and determine what needs to be done. And we also look at traffic volumes, age, and those kind of things to determine what streets we want to do and work on.
So there's a number of factors that go into whether or not you want to do an overlay, whether or not complete street recon, but just a myriad of factors that go into those decisions. Right?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. But how were street and road maintenance covered before that 1 cent tax?
Well, there was always a little bit of road use tax funding available, and then the city was bonding about $1.5 million in GO bonds each year that we were using, and that was pretty much it.
Right. And then another huge piece of what you do has to do with just like the overall infrastructure for different city facilities. Bridges. Can you tell us a little bit about that role?
Well, the city has 60 bridges and culverts that will have to be inspected every 2 years. We get those inspections, and then we work on contracts to do maintenance on the bridges and do replacements when necessary. We're currently working to replace the oldest bridge in the city on Hammond Avenue, and that's in preliminary design, and we're just waiting for some word back from the state on what type of funding we'll receive to help us with that.
All right. And there's one story that I always like to tell. I remember sitting in my office, it was September 2016, and all of a sudden you came down that morning and you were like, Mayor, have you seen any of the rain forecasts? And I don't know. No, I didn't. I mean, I wasn't watching it, but I do now. And you had said that the waters are projected to be a little bit high, and I'm still sitting there not fully grasping that we were on the cusp of another 500-year flood in 8 years. You know, and I'll never forget how calm and cool you were. And, you know, for me, it really helped, and it just kicked in. And, I mean, we worked together hard. The improvements that the engineering department has made along with all of our staff were a huge advantage, a huge benefit to 2008 floods to 2016. And, you know, sometimes that goes unnoticed. But the amount of work and all the things you guys did to move the city forward has been absolutely incredible. So I just want to tell you, you know, thank you so much. You're awesome to work with, smart, intelligent, and you've done an excellent job serving the city of Waterloo. So what do you want to say anything to folks?
Well, first of all, thank you very much, Mayor, for those kind comments. And I've really enjoyed working for the city. I got to do pretty much my whole career what I was trained to do in college and what I wanted to do, and in my hometown, no less.
Right.
So I really appreciate that opportunity and look forward to the many great things that are still going on in the city. I'm going to be around. I'm not going away,
Absolutely.
so we'll keep an eye on things.
All right, so thank you, Eric, again for making time for us, and thanks so much more for the quality hard work and leadership that you have demonstrated, all of which has been a part of making Waterloo a better place to live, work, and play. We'll miss your talent, expertise, and commitment, and many will miss you as well for the considerate regard you had for colleagues and the citizens of Waterloo. So we wish you a happy, healthy, and joyous, and successful honey to-do list life for your well-deserved retirement. The John Deere Company started in a blacksmith shop in Grand Detour, Illinois in 1837. And in 1918, John Deere entered into the tractor manufacturing business with the Waterloo Boy, John Deere's first tractor. That was a century ago. How do you celebrate 100 years of growth and success? Stay tuned and we will have answers.
Discover your past, present, and future at the Grant Museum District. Explore and play at the Bludorn Science Imaginarium. This interactive science center provides fun, hands-on exhibits and live science demonstrations. Visitors can explore more than 90 different exhibits and marvel at the aquariums and enclosures that are home to a variety of amphibians, fish, reptiles, snakes, and arachnids. Enjoy both permanent and temporary exhibits at the Grant Museum of History and Science. Take in a planetarium show and learn all about the history of the Cedar Valley. Marvel at the Victorian elegance of the Snowden House and the Rensselaer-Russell House Museum. Visit the Sullivan Brothers Iowa Veterans Museum and take in its traditional and interactive displays. Veteran stories are told throughout the museum's mini theaters, interactive maps, dog tag stations, and more. Visit gmdistrict.org for details, hours, and rates.
Over the last 100 years, the first belt-powered 25 horsepower tractor has evolved into many tractors, including a 620 horsepower tractor, all still manufactured in Waterloo. To tell us a little bit more about the evolution of John Deere Waterloo facilities and the grand celebrations it has inspired is Mindy Schmidt, HR Process Manager, and Kelly Henderson, Communications and Visitor Services Manager. Welcome to Heart for the City.
Thank you.
Well, we want to thank you for being here, absolutely, but please tell us about your roles in this 100-year celebration.
Well, we are the two project managers that are planning the event for the June 15th and 16th this summer.
No pressure.
None.
100 years. You only get 100 years once, but no pressure at all. So, 100 years is a long time for a company, even a Fortune 500 company. And John Deere has been in business since 1837, I believe. But what are some of the factors that have contributed to the overall success?
There's been many different things that have contributed to our 181 years of rich history. I think on March 14th, 1918, when we purchased the Waterloo Gasoline and Engine Company, that forever changed the company and also changed the Cedar Valley here in Waterloo.
Absolutely. And how long will the celebration last?
So we'll actually celebrate the entire year to commemorate the full year of a 100th anniversary. It actually started with the production of our 2018 model year tractors. They have a significant badge that commemorates 100 years of tractors for any tractors produced this year.
Right. And exactly where will it take place? Is it?
So the June, it'll be Friday, June 15th from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. and Saturday, June 16th from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. and it'll be in the heart of downtown Waterloo. It'll be both two campuses between the John Deere Engine and Tractor Museum and also down at the Waterloo Convention Center in the Expo Plaza area.
And I know there's going to be all types of exhibits, but tell us a little bit about some of those.
Some attractions that we have taking place that we're really excited. At the Waterloo Convention Center, we have an exhibit that you can walk through our 100 years of history through 8 eras. leading you to where we're at today. Outside of the convention center, we will have a large tent which will feature 100 years of tractor and engine innovation. This is a collection that's never been seen before. And our museum is also participating, where we will have demonstrations and activities, fun for everyone, including our local John Deere blacksmith will be doing demonstrations there. Also, we'll have a main stage with an MC and DJ and live bands performing all day long.
So all of those events and activities for family and for children as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Are there any others, or are those primarily some of the things happening?
There'll be some additional like inflatable fun for kids of all ages, including yourself, if you'd like. And then crafts and activities. It's really intended to be a day of giving back and saying thank you to the community for the accomplishment of helping us along this journey.
And you mentioned the sites now, but would there be other locations or other factories participating as well?
Yeah, so we have some exciting things that are taking place just to celebrate 100 years of tractors, including the Smithsonian has Waterloo Boy on display, and they also have the plow that was built by John Deere himself, as well as a Green Star GPS receiver. And you know, we do have factory tours available at 3 of our John Deere locations that you can participate in, and as well as the John Deere Journal online has been running a bunch of stories and sharing our history.
And you know, when we talk about history and we talk about the different facilities you have here, we're not just talking about regular factories. I mean, this is some of the most technically advanced factories in the entire world. Like, our product engineering company is second to none in the entire world. I mean, that's one way you stay in business. You stay on top of all those things. So if people have an opportunity to go out and see and explore, I highly tell people to do it, because it's just amazing. And I had a short opportunity about a year or so to do an internship at the PEC with Kathy Halverson, and I'll never forget that experience, and that kind of made me the determined person that I am today just by that short experience. But will there be trolleys and shuttles that will take people around?
Yep, safety is first and foremost for us, and since it's a kind of 2-site campus, we will have a trolley pickup spot that will be in front of the museum, and then additionally down at the Expo Plaza campus, that'll be on the corner of 3rd Avenue and Commercial.
Food and events, and how much is it going to cost me if I want to show up?
Everything's free except for the food and drink that you choose to consume.
Water, of course. Just water. Displays, will there be, 100 years from the Waterloo Boy all the way to the 620 horsepower ones you have? Will there be any displays for us to be able to see?
Yeah, like I mentioned, our Tractor and Innovation tent that we'll have will just be a collector's dream to be able to walk through that and see the exhibits that are being put on. As well as in the convention center, we have a lot of tractors that have never been seen before coming out of our archives, as well as some of our John Deere fans and customers are bringing their equipment to share as well.
Okay. And this celebration is for everyone, right? And are there any non-John Deere entities that are participating?
So we actually are working with kind of a third-party supplier to help us put on this large of event, because that's not our core business, is to do party planning. So we're using we're using them to help us make sure that this is a successful thank you to the community. They are reaching out though to local restaurants and businesses and vendors on the food and beverage side of things, like Rodney's Kitchen. We're proud to say that they'll be there representing Waterloo as well.
So you're bringing in all small businesses to be able to participate. Tell the viewing audience again, when and where will all this be taking place?
Yep. So it'll take place June 15th and 16th. That's Friday and Saturday. Friday will be from 3 p.m. till 8 p.m. And then on Saturday it's 10 a.m. till 8 p.m. So a full day of lots of different events. And it'll take place on the two campuses. You can park down at the John Deere Tractor and Engine Museum or down by the Waterloo Convention Center and Expo Plaza. And we'll have shuttles that can take you to either location for a day full of fun.
Contact information, is there a website?
Yep, if you go to visitjohndeere.com and click on the schedule of events, you will find all the information there.
All right, well, absolutely exciting time, great tribute. I want to thank you, Kelly and Mindy, for talking with us in what must be a very busy time for the both of you. John Deere has always been a most important industrial citizen, and all of us in Waterloo are proud of the fact that so much of the worldwide tractor business is designed and built right here. I will let you get back to your work with our thanks.
Thank you.
In recent news, John Deere has started construction on a 57,500 square foot addition in the very area that once produced Deere's first tractors. I could take hours to tell about all the positive things that have come from John Deere's partnership with the Cedar Valley and especially Waterloo. So be sure to join in the festivities coming up and be sure to enjoy learning about Deere's rich history centered around Waterloo. There is much to learn and to see at the John Deere Tractor and Engine Museum, so don't miss it, it's free. Moving on, Locksley Hall is a poem written by Alfred Tennyson in 1835. And by the way, 2 years before John Deere started his blacksmith business. Tennyson wrote, "In the spring of a young man's fancy, lightly turns to the thoughts of baseball." And well, that's at least how I remember it. But nevertheless, among all the great sports in Waterloo, we have a grand ballpark and an impressive ball team. More on that and the upcoming baseball season after this.
Whether you like spin, aqua zumba, or insanity, you'll find your fix at the Cedar Valley Sportsplex. With a membership, you get access to over 50 specialty classes per week and state-of-the-art equipment. We focus on fulfilling the fitness goals for the whole family. For a limited time, all initiation fees are waived. If you're ready to work on wellness for less, join the family at Cedar Valley Sportsplex in downtown Waterloo today.
As a member of the Cedar Valley, the Waterloo Bucks are committed to support the community both on and off the field. Riverfront Stadium can seat 3,500 spectators, and like the Bucks, who are more than a baseball team, the ballpark is more than just a baseball stadium. To tell us more about this significant and important enterprise is Dan Corbin, the Waterloo Bucks General Manager. Welcome, Dan, and are you ready to play ball?
We are. We will be very shortly.
Right. Tell us a little bit about your background and how you ended up becoming General Manager.
You betcha. Well, Cedar Valley area native, Waterloo. I lived in Waterloo, but the school district was Denver, so
Okay.
right north of town there. So I always enjoyed going to Indians and Diamonds games growing up at Riverfront Stadium. Ended up getting my undergrad at UNI and then master's degree down at the University of Texas in sport management. And while I was at UNI, I did a few years of internships with the Bucks after the Bucks joined the Northwoods League in '95, and that led me back to working with the team. I joined the team in 2002 as assistant general manager and was promoted as GM in 2006, and have been sprinting ever since.
And so did you have a baseball background like me? No, not whatsoever. One game in my career.
That's it.
But what about you? Did you play a little baseball?
Yeah, a little bit in high school. Yeah, always had a love for the game, love of all sports. But baseball's always been something special for me.
And how did you? And you said baseball has been something special. Was there a movie, or just being around the game, the internship, and all of those things kind of help develop that love and passion?
Yeah, I think it's all combined. You know, growing up, having supportive parents, playing in the backyard with your friends, always playing wiffle ball. You know, being able to attend events, whether it's in baseball games, whether it's in Waterloo or at Major League Park. So it's always kind of been something that I do.
And the Bucks belong to the North.
Northwoods League.
Northwoods League. So
Yep.
tell us about that.
You betcha. So the Northwoods League is comprised of 20 teams in the Midwest. We're the southernmost team, even though we're in the North Division, so figure that out. But we'll play teams in, we're the only team in Iowa. We'll play teams in Minnesota, North Dakota, Ontario, and Wisconsin. The South Division is comprised of teams in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Illinois. And it's a summer collegiate league, and so the guys that come in to play with us are still in college, and they'll play 72 games in 75 days, and we'll ship them back to school when they're done.
All right, and so you have a relationship with the Cedar Rapids Colonels and also the Twins.
Correct.
Can you tell us about that?
That's right. So the Waterloo Bucks are part of the same ownership group that owns the Cedar Rapids Colonels, and it's a board of directors. It's a community-owned ownership group, but the Colonels are a single A affiliate for the Minnesota Twins.
Right. Okay. And you have players. What about our players? Who are they, and where do they come from?
Yeah, we recruit nationally. So these kids are still in college, and we'll recruit coast to coast, and they're all over the map. We have this year a kid from UCLA. There's a kid coming in from Northwest Florida State. There's some kids from the state of Iowa. When you and I had a program, they really fed us some players, but all over the map, from the Midwest, each coast, and we try and communicate with their college coaches in the fall and light up spots for them and put together our roster from there.
Right. So that's the organization, and that's those that participate. And then you have the Riverfront Stadium. I heard Riverfront is you can rent out if you need to.
That's right. So we're very proud from a couple of levels. One, you can play baseball games out there.
Right.
We'll reach out to every high school athletic director in the state in the fall and invite them to bring their high school teams in and play once their spring or summer ball begins. We'll also invite different groups if you want to rent it out. And with our new video board, we're able to bring in different community events like the Alzheimer's Walk. The Walk to Ends in Alzheimer's last fall was one event where they rented it out. They liked the video board and were able to start their walk.
And so with the video board, scoreboard, tell us a little bit about that. I think there were some improvements in 2016, I believe.
Yeah, I think this is the third or fourth year of us having a video board. It's a 474 square foot LED video board by Daktronics.
Need one in my house.
That's right. It was a big screen that is too big to fit in the house, but it allows us a ton of capabilities, not only from the baseball operation standpoint or a fan standpoint. When you're at a game, you can see the action live on the screen, fun different graphics in the game in between innings, but it also allows us to do some community events. Right. I mentioned the Walk to Ends Alzheimer's, but we were able, for the last 2 or 3 years, able to bring in movie nights, where we invite families to bring their lawn chairs, their blankets, free of charge. Come on in. We'll have concessions available, and we'll watch a movie on select nights. The last couple years, we were able to do a couple football game watches with you and I, Iowa State or Iowa playing on the video board.
And I know at the games you try to make it so that you can have the full experience. So what are some things that are happening during the game?
You betcha. We on and off the field. So people think baseball game, hey, I'm going to sit and watch 9 innings. On top of that, between innings, we try and have some sort of fun event, whether it's participants, fans on the field, doing some event like a dizzy bat race, whether it's some music video or something on the video board that fans will be able to interact with. And then throughout the game, regardless if it's the first inning or ninth inning, we'll have a couple areas where kids can burn off some energy. One is our kid zone, which has 3 inflatables. This year we just got a brand new obstacle course. And then also on the other side, the first base side, we have last year created Bucky's Backyard Ballpark. And basically that's a little wiffle ball field. Guys and gals 4 feet and under can play wiffle ball for free and just burn off some energy.
I'm going to have to put a challenge out to Mayor Brown in Cedar Falls. Come over. Let's go to the stadium and let's play some wiffle ball. And I'm going to kick his when he comes there. So I'm going to put that challenge out to you, Mayor Brown. Hear me. But I mentioned earlier it being more than just a baseball team and doing so many things in the community, but you have community initiatives too as well.
That's right. This will be the 3rd year of the Our Bucks Community Initiative, and that basically puts a name on all the things that we do in the community, whether it's the summer reading program. This year we're a couple new initiatives. One is Step Up to the Plates, where our community relations manager, Ben Kanak, is going out with some staffers to farmers markets and taking the food at the end of the farmers markets and taking it to the Northeast Iowa Food Bank. Catch with a Cop is a brand new program we're doing where some Bucks players, mascot, are going around town, different areas, and inviting kids to play catch with a Waterloo police officer.
And the Bucks have won 4 division titles?
That sounds right. 4 division and 2 Northwest League championships.
What about number 5?
It's on the horizon. I tell you, it's on paper, I like our chances, but we got to get there, got to get it done.
And if people wanted more information about what's happening, what website would they go to?
Yeah, all the information is available at waterloobucks.com.
And where can they get tickets?
waterloobucks.com.
Where can they get tickets?
waterloobucks.com.
All right. Thank you, Dan, for taking time from the unbelievable amount of activity that surrounds the Waterloo Bucks franchise, both at the park and throughout the community. We will be rooting for you in your quest for a division championship, and the City of Waterloo will be there next Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. So our best wishes to the team, and thanks again for all the community service that the team provides. Speaking of sports in Waterloo, we are the mecca of activity. There are high school, UNI, and Hawkeye Community College teams. We have the Waterloo Blackhawks hockey, the Waterloo Bucks baseball, the Waterhawks ski team, the Waterloo Rowing Club, the Cedar Valley Derby Divas, and the Cedar Valley Court Kings. There are 3 high-quality public golf courses which host many tournaments. There is disc golf and acres of lakes, and the Cedar River for kayaking, canoeing, and power boating. Oh, and just several miles of paved bike trails as well. There are so many activities to participate or observe as a spectator. And individually or as a family, think of putting sports in your life. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
There's a place that lies directly between where you've been and where you're going. It's the place in the middle, the place where your past and future connect. Hawkeye Community College is that place, connecting you to great faculty, engaged students, and four-year destinations like the University of Northern Iowa. Every masterpiece starts with a blank canvas, and every success story begins with an empty page. Start writing your story today. Hawkeye Community College. Connect.
Well, that's our show. We have an outstanding reference for entertainment, shopping, eating, sporting events, and other activities. And that is the Waterloo Convention and Visitors Bureau award-winning website, travelwaterloo.com. And this website is for visitors and everyone who lives in the area. The City of Waterloo, Iowa has created a fully integrated bicycle transportation system. And we are a blue zone city and a bicycle-friendly city. So drivers respect bicyclists and bicyclists obey all traffic regulations. And I mean all. Everyone be courteous, but be safe. And remember to tell others that Heart for the City episodes are available for viewing on the City of Waterloo homepage, cityofwaterlooiowa.com. Also, be sure to like Heart for the City on Facebook. Please join us next time, and thanks for watching Heart for the City. Until then, I think you will agree it's a great day to be in Waterloo.